Tusculum Pioneers wrapped up their three-game road swing without a victory, but returned home in a big way. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Staten, as we welcome you into Pioneer basketball with Coach JT Burton. He's JT Burton. Pioneers get a home win this past Saturday against the Wingate Bulldogs, but to wrap up the three-game road swing against their arch rival, the Carson Eagles, still a bit of a head-scratcher is trying to put the ball into the cylinder. And I think that was the issue last Wednesday at Holt Fieldhouse. Off to a great start. Everything looked good. When Tariq Jenkins hits a couple of three-pointers, we think that, well, here we go. We're well on our way, and it just didn't seem to materialize that way.
No, he got off to a fast start, and then he cooled down really fast, and I think we've cooled down really fast. But we did a really good job of fighting back like we always do. We never out of games, and because of the way we play and our press kind of got us back in it, but I thought I did a bad job of getting us out of it, and we stayed in it too long.
I'm going to discuss the disturbing trend coming up for the Pioneers. To go through a couple of droughts in that first half. Carson Newman, they hadn't had a whole lot of success either. They'd lost 4 straight going into that contest, so they came out with a little bit of fire, and I think Trip Davis may be one of the more electric players that the league has seen.
Yeah, Trip did a really good job. Trip Davis did a really good job of taking that game over. He made, especially late, he made free throws, he made the right passes, he made the right shots and got to the basket, especially at the end of the game.
And they shoot 52% for the contest, and it's a team that shoots the ball well. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't. They do shoot the ball well, but it seems as if Nick Rogers, who'd only played 2 or 3 games, and he comes in off the bench, he's a great shooter, and the first time he touches the ball, it's going down. Seems like they had a little bit of magic there on Wednesday.
I mean, they was riding a 4-game losing streak. We was on a 2-game losing streak at the time, and they hadn't lost 5 in a row in over a decade, I think. So with that being said, those guys was coming in. They was not going to go down without a fight, especially a rival like this. So we happened to be the ones that walked through the door. They wouldn't come in here, and they did a really good job preparing and making shots.
After about a 62% start for the Pioneers through the first 8 minutes, then it kind of went downhill from there. As a matter of fact, we were under 30% for much of the game. But doing what we do, we got to get Brandon Mitchell involved, and I think in that second half, that's kind of where we started going to. And you could see us getting some stops and then getting some points.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon makes us go. I mean, it's been a pleasant surprise to all of us. He's done a really good job of maintaining not only in the block shot category and rebounding the ball offensively and defensively, but getting the ball down inside and him being a post predator is huge.
We talk a little bit more about Dylan Smith coming up too. He's kind of been riding this pretty good high, and then his shooting in the second half, whether it was off the dribble, whether it was a set shot, or whether it was an inbound play, was able to pull us back and continue to see the comeback at least be real through his shot.
Yeah, Dylan last year kind of got it going. If you remember last year when we played them, he got it going against them. And this year, I think that's where he found his mojo back, because he came back this past weekend, which we'll talk about, and making shots. So once Dylan got going, his mid-range, and he kind of stretched it out a little bit, he brought us back into the game.
I like the way the Pioneers continue to put pressure. We don't put a whole lot of pressure on teams, but you ramped up the pressure a little bit there in that second half. Finished with 13 steals in the contest, one of the season best. And our transition offense, because of our defense, allowed us to get back into it.
Yeah, we don't score too many points out of transition offense, but the other night we did against them, and we did a really good job of taking care of the basketball too. I know the second half, was one of our biggest point of emphasis coming to the game is not turning the ball over. I mean, we have so many unforced turnovers, we can't afford that, and I thought we did that the second half, and that led to transition getting still.
Yeah, I believe it was 7 turnovers only, in that second half, maybe even 6 after a big first half with some turnovers. Finished with 16 for the game. You scored off of their turnovers, got that into transition, but they seemed to be able to put the game away. Of course, it was kind of in doubt there a little bit late, and then Trip Davis just makes a play. I felt like their talent was beginning to mesh as well. It almost seemed that they were driving off each other, and probably they haven't had that this year. And as a matter of fact, I heard one of the coaches who was a guy that was here for a while, KT, it was good to see him. The fact that they haven't played with that type of chemistry that year, maybe it was something that they found in that game.
Yeah, they did. I mean, especially late. I know it was a minute left to go in the game. We cut it 67 to 64, cut it to 3, and then Trip Davis goes to the basket and kind of stretches the game out, because I think he made a layup, and then he got fouled and made the free throws. And he was a guy like him that's really good, that runs a team that's got a little age to him. He's been around, so it's always good to have those older guys. And he did a really good job of controlling the team and finishing the game.
Disturbing trend, and you're going to put some blame on yourself. 21 offensive rebounds, but the second chance points just aren't there. It's just not going back. And folks, I'm talking about an offensive rebound at the rim, go right back up. That little quick hitch just to go right back up. And we overshoot that layup. Things like that seem to be missed and just troubling the Pioneers during that 3-game losing streak.
Yes, I mean, the last 2 games, what's staggering is we had 42 offensive rebounds. We only had 24 second chance points. So I went back and statted that just to see what we were doing. Were we turning the ball over? Were we taking bad shots? And Brian, we haven't been taking bad shots. And like you said, a lot of those times is we get the rebound and we just miss a wide open layup. And this is 2 or 3 at a time. So if we can continue to rebound the ball at a high volume like we have, I'm going to say it until the end, I think it'll turn. We're going to make those shots at some point because these kids continue to work. And we continue to try to figure out ways to get them successful, to make them successful after they rebound the ball. And as long as we continue to rebound the ball that way, we'll stay in games.
Pioneers fall to Carson Newman. Next time is Pack the Arena night, so we hope to see everybody there the next time we play the rival from out west, as they say. So the Pioneers then return home after a 3-game losing skid, all of that on the road, to take on the Wingate Bulldogs, whom they had some success with last year, but it was thanks to Don Donaldson. He averaged 24 points a game against the Bulldogs, and I'm sure that for Coach Brian Good, he's glad to see that guy gone. And then we're scratching our heads because we're thinking, well, who's going to step up and score? And guys really got off to a good start against them.
We did. I mean, we followed the game plan really well. We always start with the defensive end. I thought we did a really good job of getting to him and getting out on him early, and then throwing the ball inside. Caleb Hotland got going, Dylan Smith got going, and we got some other guys that Joshua Scott got going in the game and doing some little things with Brandon Mitchell. So we was able to get off on a fast start there. It
was a 26-8 start for the Pioneers. Now that was very early, and of course, if you follow Pioneer basketball, you stick around to the very end. It doesn't matter if you trail or if they do lead. Coker, a 14-point lead at the half, and that went away. But then the big 18-point lead by the Pioneers against Anderson, they did hold on to get the victory in that contest. So you have the big lead in the first half. You did have a little bit of a scoring drought right there, I think, just before the end of the half. Did you have some concern as you were going into the locker room?
Believe it or not, no. I mean, I think the guys have gotten used to it. I mean, we try. I mean, again, as we had the scoring drought, we still rebounded a lot of balls during that time, and we just didn't make the shots. And as I told them, you just got to stay the course. And we did a really good job of scoring off the offensive rebounds, a better job than we had in the past.
Tusculum rebound domination again, 54-37, 21 offensive rebounds once again. It's just to follow up the point just to what you're talking about. I mean, it's 42 offensive rebounds in 2 games, and the Pioneers really did. You were able to take advantage of this at some point because it just really extended the game. And what it did is it kept them in the slump. They never found any rhythm, and I think that's what our offensive rebounding did against them. They couldn't get into that happy place, I guess, as you say, because they were stuck in a poor shooting first half.
Well, as I say, that we did a better job. We got 21 offensive rebounds. I think we got 9 points off those offensive rebounds, maybe. But those 9 points was big when we needed. When they try to make a run, and we would get the rebound, whereas before we just wouldn't score anything at all off of about 5 possessions. Yeah. Well, this time we would score at a time when they was making a run off the offensive rebound. So that has keep us in the games, and guys continue to play hard. As long as we can do that, we'll be okay.
Biggest victory for the Pioneers against the Wingate Bulldogs in the 46 meetings that they had as the Pioneers go off to the 75-53 victory, again led by Dylan Smith. And here's a guy that off the dribble, off a screen, from set shots, whatever it may be, he's dangerous right now every time he goes up with a jumper.
Yes, I mean, especially his mid-range, and it's what we tell him all the time. And believe it or not, he's making the shots, getting to the baskets, where last year he didn't make those either. And it's kudos to that kid because he stays with it. He stays the course. He gets in the gym. He doesn't put his head down. And the other night, he did a really good job, especially the second half coming off ball screens.
And you're getting some real good help, as you talked about some of those kids off the bench, like Josh Scott and Justin Mitchell. And I think Keyston Brown gave you some great energy on Saturday as well.
Yeah, Keyston Brown is getting better and better and better every time he plays. The more, I got to do a better job of getting him in the game and trusting him a little bit more like we did the other night, because that kid right there brings a lot of energy. I think he had 8 points and 7 rebounds, so that's really good as a freshman.
Of course, the Wingate Bulldogs, it was kind of an unusual situation for them. They always shoot the ball well, and you just held them. With your third opponent that you've held under 60 points now this year, and Jaron Cunningham really never got going in the contest. They have some great shooters. You said if we leave them open, they're going to make shots. And I think you left guys open 3 times on the night. And I think that the attention to detail, your defensive game plan was what really won you the basketball
Yes,
game.
that's been our main focus on defense here of late is getting to shooters. I mean, you almost use the NBA, deal where you run them off the three-point line, because you let these guys now, that's where the game is expanded to, is all the three-point line. So some of these kids get their feet set. They're going to make them. I thought we did a really good job of making them take tough threes and tough twos.
Pioneers get their largest win ever against the Wingate Bulldogs and run their winning streak to 3 straight against Wingate as well, ending that 3-game slide for the Pioneers. So Tusculum continues their homestand. Guess what? They get the 3rd-ranked, nationally ranked Lincoln Memorial University Rail Splitters, and then they'll go on the road against one of the top teams in the league as well, the Catawba Indians. We'll talk about the week ahead for the Pioneers when we return right after this. This is Pioneer Basketball with Coach JT Burton.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
Got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
So we welcome you back into Pioneer Basketball with Coach JT Burton. The Pioneers get the hottest team in the country, Lincoln Memorial University, riding a 17-game winning streak, which is the best in the country, and then Catawba on Saturday. First, the Rail Splitters, you get the historic win against them last year, and now they have seemed to figure it out. Their stats are back where they normally are. Their offensive numbers are back into the top 10 in the country. This is a really good offensive team.
No, I mean, very good offensive team. I mean, these guys, you cannot, I would compare them to the LSU of football, because if you have a drought against these guys, and I've always said it, especially after watching the film these last couple of days, we go droughts, 7, 10 minutes without scoring. Well, we'll be down 20 to 25 points. That's how they score. I mean, they score the ball at an unbelievable rate. But, we have gotten better the last couple of games. I think that, defensively we'll be okay, but we got our work cut out for us because they're really good.
Yeah, defensively they don't get as much attention, but there's always a really good defensive team as well. They're only allowing 68, 69 points a game, top 50 in the country. They've always been great with their field goal percentage. Yeah, a little down year last year, but you have to remember, for Coach Josh Schertz, he's not going to be bad very long, because he's going to have a good system in place. He's going to have guys that understand it, and I think it does start with their defense. So that puts a little bit more attention to what you have to do offensively.
Oh, no question, because defensively they don't get talked about enough. Defensively, because one thing they do, they can switch a lot of things because all of them the same size. But the biggest thing that you can't just drive on them. They don't let you have wide open shots, and they do a really good job of communicating and gang rebounding and not getting split, doing the little detailed things to help win games, especially on the defensive end.
LMU Wednesday night from Pioneer Arena. It's 80s night, so break out your best members only jackets, or maybe the flock of seagulls hair, or whatever it is, and come out and join us. We're gonna have some great music too. Then Saturday on the road, start the second half of the conference here. It's hard to believe the second half is here. LMU wraps it up, and then Catawba will start the second half. Really tight game against the Tribe the last time. And again, another very good offensive team on their soil this time.
Yes, I mean, last year we went up there, I think we lost by 3 points, if I can remember. But this year we also lost by 3 points here. And it was a really close game, and down to the wire. I think Justin Mitchell got the ball underneath the basket, and we turned it over, and they scored. So you go 3 on the road, then you come home this weekend against Wingate, and then you go to the 2 best offensive teams in the country in the conference. We just got to keep going. That's why defense has always been my staple, and we'll see. We're going to be tested.
Courvoisier McCauley. You hear that name a lot Wednesday. 20 points per contest, and for the Catawba Indians, Devin Cooper, one of the top scorers in the league. We'll have those 2 guys this week. So join us. We'll be on the Pioneer Sports Network on Saturday. We're actually on Wednesday, where you can watch the game, and on Saturday as well, where you can watch that through Catawba's official athletic website as well, or visit Tusculum's website, TusculumPioneers.com. Visit the men's schedule. You can always find the link for live audio or video or live stats, and you can tune in that way. On the road, it's us for radio. It's them for the video. For Pioneer Coach JT Burton and all those involved in the Pioneer Sports Network, Nick Forksburg, along with Zach Hartle, I'm Brian Staten. And until next week, go Pioneers.